Sin was heavy, but chains break at the weight of your glory. I needed shelter, I was an orphan. Now you call me citizen of heaven. When I was broken, you were my healing. Now your love is the air that I'm breathing. I have a future, my eyes are open, 'cause when you call my name,
Good morning, everybody. Happy Oh my goodness, it's not Friday. It's not Friday. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. I know it's Wednesday because my son and my wife's birthdays are coming up. Anyways, happy Wednesday. Good morning, everybody. We are going to be in John 4, 1 through 9. So while I'm saying hi to some folks, you can be turning in your Bibles. I will pull it up on your screen, but, you can still do that too. All right, so we got Patricia on here. Good morning to you, Pat. Dr. Colleen, good morning. And Ken Gooch. Now, everybody should shout out to Ken. He shot out the reminder text, so I wouldn't have been so I didn't end up being late to this thing. Connie, good morning to you. Pop up on there. Karen Thompson, good morning. Dave Donnelly, good morning, sir. Yeah, out there in Florida. I'm wearing all these clothes. I want to make the Michigan folk, feel comfortable. I don't want to bust out the shorts, No, I'm joking. All right, Steve Giroux, good morning, brother. Ken Gooch again. Come on. Yeah, it's good to be on here. Bert Reggiani, good morning, brother. Jody Glenn's on here. Trish, man, everybody is on here. It's Diane. It's me. I'm not Pastor Tom. Pastor Tom is taking a well-deserved break after the last week of Jesus' life. He needed it, right? Yep. Shout, Glenn, good morning to you, brother. And look at that, man. I love the background. Yeah, don't tell Connie, but I stole some more books. Sorry. All right. Let's do this. Okay. So, like I said, we are in John 4. And we're starting her out. Okay, so let's do this. Now when Jesus learned that the Pharisees had heard that Jesus was making and baptizing more disciples than John, than John, although Jesus himself did not baptize, but only his disciples. There's a prophecy in the Old Testament that talks about that Jesus, the Christ, wouldn't baptize. So that's why they made that distinction. He left Judea and departed again for Galilee, and he had to pass through Samaria. So I think let's just stop here for a second, because that had to pass through Samaria. I don't believe that that's like, or I know that that's not because there's no other way, right? Because most Jews would take a longer route around so they wouldn't have to interact with the Samaritan people, right? And we see that later when we see that later on when we see that what up, AJ? My brother's on here. Well, we see that later on when the Samaritan woman comes to him. She's like, what are you doing talking to me? You know? But anyways, so I think Jesus had to go this way because there was a Samaritan woman who was, yeah, we're gonna get there. But she was at her lowest point, right? Like she's coming out in the middle of the day because she doesn't want to interact with people because she's just defeated. And God, looking down on her, had mercy and pursued her, right? And so the had to was because God was pursuing this Samaritan. I believe, right? I'm not going to be dogmatic, but that's what I believe. All right, so he came to Samaria, whoop, 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 and he had to pass through Samaria. So he came to a town of Samaria called Sychar, near the field that Jacob had given to his son Joseph. Jacob's well was there. So Jesus, weary as he was from his journey, was sitting beside the well. It was about the 6 hours. It was about the 6 hours. So the sun is high in the sky, right? And so that makes this next verse pretty weird, right? Because women wouldn't go out in the middle of the day and get water, right? And so in verse 7 it says, a woman from Samaria came to draw water. Jesus said to her, "Give me a drink." For his disciples had gone away into the city to buy food, right? The Samaritan woman said to him, "How is it that you, a Jew, ask me for a drink, from me, a woman of Samaria? For Jews have no dealings with Samaritans," right? And so, why is that? Why don't Jews kind of rock with Samaritans? Well, it was because the Assyrians had taken over Israel when the Israelites were, in abominate, or like they were, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyways, they were going after paganism. They were going after idols and stuff like that. They were rebelling against God. So they got captured. The Syrians come in there. They take over. But then, since they were already given into, forsaking God, they start marrying, right? So they start giving their sons and their daughters and taking their sons and daughters. And so the Samaritans are a result of that, right? And so to the Jews, it's just this. It's a reminder of their rebellion. They are descendants of rebellion, and so they're very mean to them, right? They're like, you're a descendant of rebellion, right? So they treat them really bad. They try not to associate with them because they're unclean. They're that reminder to them, and so how many know you can hear something? The more you hear something, the truer it sounds, right? And pretty soon you just start believing it as truth, even if it's a lie. You knew it was a lie when it first started, but they say it so much that you just kind of start going with it, right? And so this Samaritan woman, and we will later learn. I think Ken's got it tomorrow, and so he'll talk about the story. But she just, you're gonna hear her life that she lived that way. She lived like she was unclean. She lived, this life that, you know, yeah. Anyways, and so she's just down and out, right? And she's living such a way that even other Samaritans probably rag on her, right? And so she comes out in the middle of the day. She's like, I don't need to talk to nobody. I don't need to be around nobody. And she goes to this well to get water. And I feel like, man, so many of us, we've been in that place. We get into this place of like, self-defeat and self-loathing, where even we can have the appearance of godliness, like everybody else is good, everybody else thinks, oh man, you're awesome, you're great, but then hey, my mom popped on there. What did you say? um but yeah, like we 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 have this appearance of godliness. Everybody else thinks we're good, but then we know our own mess, right? We know what's in our closet, and so we're just, downtrodden, right? Like I was reading that psalm, why are you downtrodden, my oh my soul? Anyways, where but we just get down on ourselves, and we disqualify ourselves. Like, how could God love me? How could God forgive me? How, right? Because I can't even forgive myself. Or maybe it is from external pressures, like people around you, calling you out of your name and whatever, and you start believing that stuff. And I just believe that God's no respecter of persons. Like, just like he had to go past Samaria, he had to let us talk about this today. He had to get you onto this live today, so that you can be encouraged. Like, no, there's a God he's pursuing, and that it doesn't matter, right? Like circumstances, or like our shortcomings, our sins, every sin, our past, present, and future was nailed to that cross. Jesus scanned the whole earth, right? Like in Luke, he talks about what king goes to war without first recognizing or calculating the risk. Like Jesus knew everything. He knew way before he stepped out of glory, what you were going to do tomorrow, what you're going to do 10 years from now. Like, he knew it all. And he nailed that to the cross and said, you know what? I still love him. I still love him. I'm still going to pursue him. And so he got you on this live. He got me talking about this passage. And isn't that just amazing that we have a God that pursues us? Yeah, you gotta tune in tomorrow, because just to hear the rest of the story, how God just, yeah, it's good. It's good. Come on, there's a fountain of living water. Oh, I'm not gonna get into it. Ken's gonna do it. All right, y'all. That's it. I hope this was an encouragement to you. I know it was an encouragement to me, that we have a God that pursues. Come on. All right. So my mom popped on here. What's AJ talking about? Let me get this off the screen for a second, and make this bigger so I can actually see. Well, I hear you say all the time that the Lions are good. All right, man. All right. Anyways, love you, bro. Love you guys. I hope this was an encouragement to you. Looking forward to digging and going through the rest of this chapter with you. All right. Peace.